on the Zoom. Right. Okay. Right. Good afternoon, everybody. We'll start this afternoon's council meeting, being that it's 1 o'clock. We're on the live stream as well. So, welcome to council members and staff, members of the public watching via the live stream, and also we have Francois on Zoom, Councillor Beard, and Councillor Phelps is yet to arrive. He is expected on there at any stage, and Emma. Welcome to the meeting, everybody. Right, we will open with the karakia. Kia hora, te marino, kia whakatanga punana te moana. Hei hurahai ngā tātou, ai te rangi nei, araha atu, araha mai, tātou ie, tātou katoa, hui e, taikia. Apologies, we have no apologies, we've just got just waiting for Councillor Phelps to arrive, so we'll just see if he comes. Maybe recorded this late entry later on, or an apologies as we move through. Being that we've got none to accept, we'll move on to declarations of interest. And as always, if everybody can ensure that that is kept up to date with any changes that are applicable to the register. Item 4, urgent items not on the agenda, we have none, so we'll move on to item 5, minutes of meetings. First off, we have the ordinary council meeting minutes of 28th November 2024 and the extraordinary council meeting minutes of 9th December 2024. The resolution is that the minutes of those meetings be confirmed as a true and correct record of the meeting. Can I move and second, please? Councillor Glee, Councillor Burden, on favour? Carried, thank you. And I approve that my digital signature be added to the confirmed ordinary council meeting minutes of 28th November 2024 and the extraordinary council meeting minutes of 9th December 2024. We have no minutes to be received from standing committees, so we'll move on to 6 on the agenda, which is the action list. And we welcome Councillor Phelps to the Zoom as well. Just noting. Thanks, Barb. The floor's all yours.
Thank you.
Oh, and welcome to our first council meeting.
Thank you. I've been looking forward to it. Can I just say, firstly, you may see I'm sorry for the late distribution of the action list, but we're just trying to get the format correct and how we want to place it going forward. And in the new year, I hope that we have it even further refined for you. So just a heads up that it is going to change a little bit in the way that it looks. Hopefully with taking on board some of the commentary that councillors have provided in terms of information they would like to see in it. So just so that you know. So going through the items, I will take them as read and happy if people want to stop me for questions as we go through. So item 1, which was around the Hikuatai building, as we said, consultation will be around LTP. I will be distributing early in the new year a timeline so that folk can see the process around the LTP, just to refresh people about what are the milestones and where we can expect to see engagement with the LTP, so councillors are aware of that. Item 2, again, council headquarters, we're working with the finance staff and the financial modelling will compare for that piece. We are on project for the lower Hokitika Gorge swing bridge in terms of the project underway and running schedule, and we have the completion for the February 2025 date. The Museum Trust Board, a report will be put to the council before the end of the first quarter in 2025, which will cover off the terms of reference, etc. that are being drafted for comment from the council. Item 5, we've asked Doc to speak to the council in the February meeting 2025 around the feral cat and what that program is looking like. And happy for any feedback if anyone wants any specific questions put to Doc, we can put it to them before they come to the meeting. Item 6, again, we've got the time frame there for the bridge and looking at payments, etc. And that will be coming back to us early in the new year. There's still some refining about information to come back to the council on that item. For item 7, the building of the windows for the Carnegie building, again, LTP budget meetings will be factored in late January. Hokitika Racecourse, I think there was a request that there was a visual media release available. and that we've asked that the community service manager, as you see in the action item, is working with a strategy communication advisor so that we actually have that content up to date. And I would be looking to have that back with the council for the January meeting so that there can be comment on it. I know for the item number 9, there's been some commentary around the Hokitika CBD parking strategy. So just to give councillors a sense of awareness of this process, I don't know that perhaps it's as clear as it could have been. The survey that has gone out was seeking information from businesses and public as a, if you like, a baseline. I know there were some workshops that were undertaken with councillors from the team. That's all being collated together. The survey went out to gather more information. I've put timeframes there so that councillors are aware of the process and when you can expect to see it back. We are expecting to do some more workshops in February, just gathering information and building on what we've got as a baseline of what the themes are coming through around the parking and the flow within the CBD. This will be brought back to council in April. Nothing will be progressed until council has an opportunity to review it, look at the themes and make commentary around how best they see that we place the strategy. Obviously it's going to be part of the wider CBD strategy, and I would like also to bring that at that time, probably in March actually, a better overview of how we see the parking strategy feeding into the CBD strategy and where councillors can be engaged and involved through that process. So that is a view that we're taking forward for the new year. Happy to take questions. Sorry, I know I ran through that quite quickly.
Paul, do you want any clarification? Because I know you were concerned about the parking outside the carving shop, but
I don't think you wish to want me to raise that here.
No, but I'm hoping. No, I'm hoping what Barb has said will satisfy that. No, but I mean,
No, it doesn't.
the way it's been conveyed was not particularly good.
I just hope that the survey that has gone out is not the baseline.
No.
That this is not a proposal as such, it's possibility.
It's information gathering.
Well, it didn't look that way.
No, I know, and that's what Barb's saying is.
And I do apologise for the miscommunication. I can understand why there was a certain amount of energised conversation around that when people saw it. Without having that context, it would be very easy to misunderstand where that was going, but I can give you an assurance that nothing will be progressed unless councillors have seen it. It really is gathering themes and gathering information. And it's a lesson that we can take as a learning about perhaps how we communicate better going forward around how people can have the expectations of information coming.
Yes.
And happy to take that offline with the councillor and have a further conversation, a bit more in depth on your issues.
Still, as you know, I do have issues. Major issues, and I'm sure I'm not the only one. I mean, the problem is that it was dreamt up by one or two people and was put out there under the council name. And it's like, hang on a minute.
But as the C is conveyed, it's happened without that control and that management, and that won't be happening again. We'll be making sure that that's with a better structure in the future.
Yeah, I appreciate that very much. Well, I've got my mouth open. If I could talk the race course. And at the meeting last month, we asked for some information to be disclosed to the public. And now we're told that there are contracts in place and that any press statement must be in conjunction with contractors, etc. How long does that take? I mean, it says that this will be out in like end of January. Well, that's too long, in my opinion. It doesn't take long. If there was any urgency for anything else, it would take a phone call, basically, or an email. Why is it taking so long for this to be revealed to the public? And I'm not talking just about a disclosure of how much it's cost the council, because we all know how much the council got for infrastructure. And therefore, it's not the breakdown of that. as to how, what is the full financial implication for this council, the ratepayers, of any finance?
We've always said, Paul, that there must be no risk back to councillors with this for it to proceed. And at the moment, to come out publicly with any information over and above what's already been released, we've got to go to Kanoa, and we've also got to go with the contract company that has signed up with it. So it has to be a unified approach. What we can provide as council is very minimal compared to what you're asking for. It will be coming, and we've always said that after that last consultation, the last information meeting we had at the racecourse, we would be putting one out in the new year. With that, the developers are hoping to have an actual scope and landscape of what it's going to look like and what's going to be there. So,
with respect, I think this hasn't come as a great surprise. This has been dragging on around the track for a long time now. And at the end of the day, it's the information should be released first and foremost to ratepayers.
yes, and I'm well aware of that, and I
But
respect
it's
that.
not being released, it's still being withheld.
You are very aware yourself through your own business connections, etc., how these things work, and we can't just release information for the sake of, when we can either risk being held to task for such release when we aren't in a position to release it. And that is the position we're in. We've always made that crystal clear. We've always made ourselves accessible for what information we can provide, and we have always said that in the new year we will be having another public meeting where, as I said, the landscape, the scope of work and everything else will be provided to the community. As far as any financial information, that would be the time to do that too, but it will be what we can release. But we've always given the community assurance that this project can only commence and proceed with no risk to the ratepayer, as you've been aware of, because we've had that conversation here before.
I haven't been aware of terribly much of it because I haven't been in those meetings.
Well, you've always been able to attend any of those meetings where I've made that point, whether they've been the public meetings or what.
No, I've been thrown out of the committee meetings. Whenever the racecourse was discussed, I was thrown out
Yes,
because of a perceived conflict of interest, which didn't exist.
Well, it did when the initial stage. We're not going to debate that here. That's not what we're here to discuss.
I'm not debating that. I'm just raising that because my point is, Your Worship, I didn't know the detail of it, so I'm not well aware of that. But my point is that the ratepayers ought to know now, not wait till the end of January. They ought to know, have the courtesy to let everyone know now just exactly what is the deal. There's been dribbles and drabs. That's all that's come out, and I don't think it's good enough. When the council talks about, it's all about being openness and transparency. Well, it's not very transparent.
Yes, I hear what you're saying, Paul, and I acknowledge that, but as I said before, you're well aware with deals such as this on what you can and cannot release. And unfortunately, we aren't in the steering of this as far as release of information. We have to go to Kanoa, and we have to go to the contract company that's signed with this.
With respect to your worship, it's not Kanoa I'm talking about.
It doesn't.
Kanoa doesn't run the project.
No, they don't, but we are bound with them for the funding on what we can say and when and how, and it is the same with the company that's engaged, and that doesn't change.
That's what I'm talking about.
The public have met them up at the racecourse. We've already had one,
not the public.
two.
I mean, who went?
It was open to anybody to attend, and those that wanted to go went. This is not what we're here to discuss at the moment. We're here to work on the action list. We've had this discussion before, and we said we would be coming back in January with a disclosure.
We didn't say we're coming back in January, Your Worship. We discussed it last month, and the reason I'm raising it again this month is because we're now told actually it'll be the end of January before anything is out.
Well, when you take the fact it's been 3 weeks since our last meeting, and with what's involved with the end of the year, I know how pressurised everybody's been for time.
Okay, right.
Information will be coming when it's available, and it will be a lot of information, but it will be released because the public has a right to know. We're well aware of that. We've never shied away from that. Earl, do you want to add anything to that? Sorry, Barb.
I can say that the final documentation and legal proceedings will be finished on Monday. So I can just sign that.
Thank you, Will.
Thanks, Will.
Sorry, Barb.
So further on from that, hear what both of you are saying, I don't think that the public is expecting the landscape plans and all this, but at this point, what they want is the basic financial information, which has come out in bits and pieces, but not all pieced together. It shouldn't be complicated. I don't think the developers have said that they don't have a problem with the information going out to the public. So that part should be easy, and there's no reason why Canara should have any expectation that we don't release them. And while we said at the public information meetings that we would do our best to get that information out, it only needs to be a half a page. We don't
It's not quite as simple as that, because it's information if people don't understand and you just give them this. You've got to explain what the narration is for people to actually understand it properly. And as El just said, it's only just been completed, so until that time happens, we can't.
It's only just been signed off, but the basics of what was in it.
We can't release information before the signing is completed, because we are in breach of our contract at that time.
No one is asking for us to release it before it was completed. It is now completed. The information has been there for a long time. We've known what it was going to be. So can we try and get it through?
It won't be this side of Christmas, I can assure you of that, because of time restraints with everything else that's trying to be rushed through before close of business for Christmas. It will be released in January.
I think it's very disappointing.
It's noted as disappointing, but that's where it is. So, Councillor Gillette.
Well, through your worship, my comments were along the same line as Paul. I was just wanting clarification on when the contract negotiations were going to be completed, because it is dragging on, and I was concerned that the deal and the negotiations may end up with something which is not quite as lucrative as was first presented to council. So I was looking for an update. So I guess that's been answered, but I support the sentiment of frustration about trying to get some information about this deal, because I'm concerned about what will be the outcome in terms of the recreational benefits. They're a bit tenuous to me.
I can assure you that nothing's changed from the first discussions on that aspect of it. Or anything else that's
Well,
been
the deal did
done.
change. The deal did change, and the deal that was presented by Joseph's in all its glory, when it finally went to the vote, was a completely different deal. Completely different. Financial outcomes are quite different and very volatile. So I'm concerned to see what the final contract and who's leading the negotiations on behalf of the council, and who's ensuring that we get the best outcome. This deal needs to be presented to the group so that we can understand fully what we've entered in and we're committed to, and then we need to get out to the public.
Yep. So that will be happening in January. We can certainly bring that to council in January with a disclosure there, and we will have a mapping of what's going to go out to the public, because I know that the developers are keen to be part of that as well. So, and they're ready to have a release, and they've actually been working on that because it's for them to release that side of information.
So just for clarity, in the action point it says anticipate release to go out in early January 2025. Barbara, I think you said it will come back to councillors in the January meeting, which will be towards the end of January.
I think it's towards the end of January, which is the normal third Thursday, so for the council meeting. I think that there's an opportunity that we could disseminate some information to the council. We can circulate it and get it together. But then we anticipate that we will do it at the council meeting.
Councillor Kesson.
Welcome to the table. Great new template you've got there. It's obviously caused a whole lot of engagement, which is great. My question is around line item 3, the Hope to Go Lower Gorge Swing Bridge. Is there any chance we can release to councillors and to the community between now and obviously Christmas or everyone else closing down, and we can update on where things are at, a few pictures, but a press release, I'm sure the local paper would run it, all the local papers would run it. There's a lot of interest when we closed it. It would be nice to take the community on that journey with us.
I'm certainly happy to and see what we can do in terms of pulling something together that's actually a useful tool to take out to actually show progress, so that people have some form of benchmark about where we're going.
Awesome. And because great that everyone else's year finishes in a couple of days or a week's time, tourism starts in a couple of weeks' time, so it'd be nice to give those stakeholders an update.
Maybe quite brief, acknowledging that there's
A couple of brief pictures and a update is better than nothing. Yeah, thank you very much.
Thanks, Barb. Councillor Phelps.
Yeah, just a quick question on the racecourse development in terms of the no risk to the ratepayer sort of pledge or guarantee, what have you. Is there some sort of break-even point that we've got where, say, the market fundamentals were to change, or nothing being certain? Have we sort of got worst-case scenarios built into these agreements? And if that's not something that we can appropriately discuss now, is that something that we can sort of work into future briefings?
It's something we can work into future briefings. Yep. We'll answer that with the full brief in January, Richard, if that's all right, then. Sorry, Councillor Fox.
Yep, no, thank you very much.
Thank you. Anything further for Barb, please? No. Can I have a mover and a seconder, please, resolve that the updated action list be received? Councillor Casson, Councillor Davidson, thank you very much. All in favour? Aye. Carried. Thank you. Thanks, Barb. Presentations, we have none, so we'll move on to staff reports. The first being the ordering of candidates' names on voting papers. Leslie, please.
Good afternoon, Mayor and Councillors. This report is for Council to resolve on the order of the candidate names on the voting papers for the 2025 election. I'll take the report as read and answer any questions.
Questions? Councillor Blair.
So pseudo-random is drawing names out of the hat.
Basically, yeah.
Love it. I think that's entirely appropriate.
As opposed to just in a random
Just
order.
random, yeah.
Random is a piece of software. It means that every voting paper will be different, whereas the pseudo-random, once they're drawn out, every paper will be the same as that, in that order.
Which is option 2, not option 1.
Put the order of seniority.
Any further questions for Leslie? Any points of clarification? So that is the difference between option 1 and option 2 is random or pseudo-random. Pseudo is a continuation of that process.
So option 1 is random, which is the preferred option, the recommended option. It's an option that councils are actually moving towards that anyway. And the other two, pseudo-random is fairly more expensive because you've got to get premises which is neutral. You've got to potentially pay for that. You've got to advertise when dates and time it's going to take place. So it's got to be open to the public for anyone who wants to attend. So it's usually a more costly exercise, whereas random doesn't cost anything.
So through your worship, so how can a random selection be verified? Surely that had to be certified and be checked as well. That'd have to be a cost. You can't just sit down with your laptop and run a random number generator and say that's adequate.
Certified software which is used for all.
Who does that? Who does that and how much does that cost?
It's done through the electoral officer. It doesn't cost anything more than doing a random paper.
Alphabetical?
Alphabetic, yes. There's no cost to it.
pseudo-random is because it takes a different level, different time.
You've got to have people involved, premises.
Some people make it complicated, don't they? What's simple. And you can even do a random ranking on Google.
Correct. Making it complex when it doesn't need to be.
Happy to move option one.
Happy to move option one. Councillor Casson's happy to move option one. Do I have a seconder to that? Councillor Burden. Thank you. All in favour?
Aye.
Carried. Thank you very much, Leslie. And that is also resolved.
Voting against.
Sorry, Stephen, were you the one who voted against?
Oh, I love option two.
I'll take the
All right, so do you want your name recorded against? Councillor Getz voted against. So that was also the resolution for receiving the report and council resolved the names of candidates for the 2025 subsequent by-election to be arranged by referendum. Right. Sorry, Stephen. Right, the next report is the proposed road name at Jackson's. Carl, please.
Afternoon, Your Worship, councillors. So this is just a representation of the previous month's report. So I'll take that as read and ask for
We discussed this last time, and since then, Carl's also showed me a report of the consultation, etc., that was done with iwi and all others, and I said, let's just get it back on the table, because I know that the landowners that are there, and we recognised the street on our way to Otira last week, and I know the landowners now are quite anxious about this because they have a road that has no name and it is interfering with their postal service, with their emergency services and everything else. So I think if we're going to be respectful to the owners in there, we need to get this done and underway. So the resolution is that the report be received and that council adopts the name Rangitypo Lane, the unnamed legal road off State Highway 73 opposite the Jackson's Hotel. Do I have a movement to seconder, please? Nobody? Councillor Neal, thank you. Do I have a seconder? Councillor Davidson. Thank you. All in favour?
Aye.
Against? Carried. Thank you. Thank you everybody for that. I'm sure the landowners will be very pleased. Thank you, Carl.
Thank you.
Nice to get some satisfaction for somebody before Christmas. Right, so that is the meeting as such. Before we go into the public excluded section of the meeting, there's nothing else left on there, but what I would like to do before we go into there is make a few thanks to everybody that's involved with council in the day-to-day business of it. On behalf of all of council, I'd like to take this opportunity and thanking all staff for their dedication and focus over the past year. Your work in a sometimes trying environment, and yet you work in a sometimes trying environment, and yet your dedication and focus to the community we all serve is unwavering. A very sincere thank you to you all in what has been a fairly testing year at times. To the community that we all serve, thank you for your support throughout the year. We are well aware the support isn't always consistent, but hey, that's okay too. We remain steadfast in working hard on your behalf to support, protect, enhance, develop and grow our communities and region. To all our CCO staff and board members and all our suppliers and contractors, thank you everyone for your continued work and support throughout the year. To my councillors and any members of council, thank you for your ongoing support. It is truly appreciated. I know I work at a great rate of knots at times, and it's been a manic year with so much happening and with some heavy decisions having been made and a few changes taking place along the way. But we're all in a very sound place with good focus going forward, so I'm looking forward to 2025 and all that it brings with it, even if it does promise to be another big year. To our new Chief Executive, Barb, thank you for signing up and welcome aboard. I, like you, recognise the challenges ahead of us, but I know with your steady hand at the helm, we will progress well through the year. I look forward to being out and about with you in the new year, getting around to all our communities as well. To you all, we want to take this opportunity to wish you and yours a very Merry Christmas and a happy and healthy New Year. May 2025 treat us kindly, offer us opportunity and provide safe harbourage to us all. Merry Christmas, everyone. Right, so with that, Thanks, councillor Davison. So with that, can I have a mover and a seconder please resolve that council move into the public disclosure section of the meeting at 1:28 p.m. Thank you, councillor Neil, councillor Wheat. Thank you, and we will adjourn for 2 minutes. Councillor Phelps and Emma, we'll adjourn for 2 minutes to disconnect and then we'll reconnect and we'll see you on the other side. Thanks everyone, back shortly.